Will Trisha dump Rick after seeing his shocking texts with his ex? The notification came at 11:42 p.m. Trisha wasn't looking for anything. She told herself that later, over and over again, as if repetition might make it truer. She had only picked up Rick's phone because it wouldn't stop buzzing on the coffee table, lighting up the dim apartment in erratic flashes. Rick was in the shower, humming off-key, blissfully unaware of the storm about to break open in their living room. At first, she ignored it. Then it buzzed again. And again. By the fourth time, curiosity didn't just knock, it kicked the door down. She glanced toward the bathroom. The water was still running. Steam curled faintly under the door. She reached for the phone. The screen lit up instantly with a message preview. "I miss you. Do you ever think about us?" Trisha froze. The contact name read, Alyssa. Her chest tightened. Alyssa, the ex. The one Rick had sworn was ancient history. The one he claimed he hadn't spoken to in over a year. The one he laughed about, dismissing her with a casual shrug. "We were wrong for each other." Trisha stared at the message, her pulse quickening. The phone buzzed again. "Because I can't stop thinking about that night." Her thumb hovered over the screen. She knew she shouldn't. Every part of her moral compass screamed at her to put the phone down, to respect his privacy, to trust him. But trust suddenly felt like a fragile thing, like glass already cracked. She tapped. The conversation opened. And everything changed. The messages weren't new. They went back weeks, maybe months. Trisha scrolled slowly at first, her breath shallow, her eyes scanning each line like they might rearrange themselves into something harmless. They didn't. There were jokes, inside jokes she didn't understand, memories, places they had gone together, moments that clearly still lived vividly in Rick's mind, and then there were the late-night messages. The dangerous ones. "Sometimes I wonder if we gave up too soon. It felt different with you. I still have that photo." Trisha's stomach dropped. Her hands began to tremble as she kept scrolling. Then she saw it. A message from Rick. "If things were different, I think we'd still be us." The words blurred. She blinked rapidly, willing herself not to cry. Not yet, not before she fully understood what she was seeing, but the tears came anyway, hot and relentless, sliding down her cheeks as the reality settled in. Rick hadn't just been talking to his ex. He had been emotionally somewhere else. The shower turned off. Trisha locked the phone and placed it back exactly where it had been, as if nothing had happened. Her heart pounded so loudly she was certain Rick would hear it the moment he stepped out. She sat back on the couch, rigid, staring at the blank TV screen. Think. What now? Confront him? Pretend nothing happened? Walk out? Her mind raced through every possible scenario, each one ending in the same inevitable explosion. The bathroom door creaked open. "Hey," Rick said casually, towel slung over his shoulder. "Who was texting me like crazy?" Trisha looked at him. Really looked at him. The familiar curve of his smile, the easy confidence in his posture, the face she had trusted, loved, built a future around. And suddenly, he felt like a stranger. "I don't know," she said quietly. Rick picked up his phone, glancing at the screen. His expression flickered just for a second. It was subtle, almost imperceptible. But Trisha caught it. Guilt. "Probably just work stuff," he muttered, setting the phone down quickly. "Work stuff." The lie landed like a slap. Something inside Trisha shifted. "Rick," she said, her voice steadier than she expected. "Who's Alyssa?" Silence. Heavy, immediate. Rick froze mid-motion, his back still turned slightly toward her. For a moment, he didn't move at all. Then he exhaled slowly. "Why?" he asked, too carefully. "I saw the messages. There it was. No going back now." Rick turned around, his face a mixture of surprise, irritation, and something else, something closer to panic. "You went through my phone?" Trisha almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was unbelievable. "That's your concern?" she shot back, her voice rising. "Not the fact that you've been texting your ex behind my back?" "It's not what you think," he said quickly. "Really?" she said, standing now, her hands shaking. "Because it looks exactly like what I think." Rick ran a hand through his damp hair, pacing slightly. "Trish, it's just talking. It doesn't mean anything. If things were different, we'd still be us, she quoted, her voice breaking. Does that sound like nothing to you? He stopped pacing. It was just a moment, he said, a stupid thing to say. But you said it, she replied, and you meant it. Rick opened his mouth to argue, but nothing came out. Because deep down, he knew she was right. The room felt smaller now. The air heavier. Trisha wrapped her arms around herself, as if trying to hold together the pieces of something that was rapidly falling apart. How long? She asked softly. Rick hesitated. That doesn't matter. How long, Rick? A couple months. The words hit harder than she expected. Months. Not a mistake. Not a lapse in judgment. A pattern. A choice. Every single day. Why? She whispered. And that question, simple, raw, honest, seemed to unravel Rick more than anything else. He sighed, sitting down on the edge of the chair. I don't know, he admitted. She reached out. We started talking. It just happened. That's not an answer. I didn't plan it, he said, frustration creeping into his voice. It wasn't like I was trying to hurt you. But you did, Trisha said, tears spilling freely now. You did anyway. Rick looked at her then, really looked at her, and for the first time, the weight of his actions seemed to fully land. I care about you, he said quietly. Trisha shook her head. That's not enough. Silence stretched between them. The kind of silence that says everything words can't. Finally, Trisha spoke again. Do you still have feelings for her? Rick didn't answer immediately. And that hesitation? It was louder than any confession. Trisha let out a shaky breath, nodding slowly as if confirming something she already knew. Okay, she said. Okay? Rick echoed, confused. Yeah, she said, wiping her tears. Okay. She walked past him toward the bedroom. Where are you going? He asked, standing up. To pack. The word hit him like a jolt. Wait, what? He said, following her. You're just leaving? What did you expect? She replied, pulling a suitcase from the closet. Trish, come on, he said, his voice softening. We can talk about this. We are talking about it, she said, folding clothes with sharp, deliberate movements. You were emotionally involved with someone else. You lied to me. You hid it. What is there to fix? It didn't mean anything. Then why didn't you tell me? She shot back. Rick fell silent again. Because there was no good answer. Trisha zipped the suitcase halfway, then stopped. She looked up at him, her eyes red but clear.